Good evening, I'm Jake Schrantz, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, the Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti spoke to the media during the first of two Big Ten football media days this week in Indianapolis. One point he hit on was how to stay focused this year while preparing for changes with USC and UCLA coming to the conference in the near future.
When it comes to the schedule this year, we're ready. We have work done right in front of us. Today is the start of that. You know, we've got, we owe that to the conference to all of our existing members to make sure we put everybody in the best place this season. I don't think there's any distraction. You know, I think we're able to do, two things at once, look forward and at the same time do everything we need to do day in and day out for this football season, not just our football, but also the rest of, the schedule this year for Big Ten sports. So I feel like we have the staff and the depth. We've done some things internally to shore up our staff to be able to do that, to put more energy into the integration of USC and UCLA. So I feel like the staff adjustments that we've made will allow us to do that effectively.
We'll have more Big Ten Media Day coverage, including more from Commissioner Petitti later on in the show. In other Big Ten news, Nebraska bowling's 2023-2024 schedule was released today. The Huskers are looking to add another national title to their name, starting against Youngstown State on October 13th to October 15th. For more details, visit Huskers.com. The new UNL Chancellor, Rodney D. Bennett, announced today that August 30th would be an instructional continuity day. Students now will have more time to make their way to a sold-out Memorial Stadium for the largest attendance for a college volleyball match in history. Tonight, the U.S. women's soccer team is set to take on Netherlands at 8 p.m. Central Time. Fans can tune into the match tonight on Fox. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for a full 2 hours of Husker Sports Nightly.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
With trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for the in the air. Marquise Buford makes the pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. Second and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have three eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome into this Wednesday night edition of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. We're happy to have you guys tuning in. We're going to have lots of Big Ten Media Day coverage as Greg Sharpe will be checking in with us here in just a few minutes. He's got all the details of everything that went down today in day one. And we'll actually have a couple interviews coming up here in the show as well. We're going to hear from Damon Benning in hour number 2. And I'm sure, who knows what all those guys got into. I'm sure they had some fun. So we'll hear from Greg and Damon coming up in hour number 2. Greg also had a chance to chat with Matt Cassel, who's going to be one of the analysts on NBC this year in the inaugural season of NBC covering Big Ten football. So we're excited to hear that. And a really cool moment today that they brought in some of the analysts from all three of those networks, some of the media members of all three media of Fox, NBC, and CBS, saying how excited they are to be a part of the Big Ten coverage. So that was really cool. Certainly a big part of Media Day coverage today and will be again tomorrow. And yeah, so that's all coming up here. And as Jake had in the ticker, we'll hear more thoughts from the commissioner coming up in hour number 2 as well. So lots of Big Ten Media Day talk over the next couple of hours, but we have a little bit of breaking news to get to that developed over the last couple of hours. It appears that Colorado is headed back to the Big 12 Conference. The Board of Regents met couple hours ago, and then they have scheduled another meeting tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's posted, it is happening, and oh, by the way, it's going to be live streamed apparently. So, and again, it's surrounding the potential move to the Big 12 for Colorado. This has been something that's been in the works for months. The Big 12 has been wanting to add a couple members. They have really reached out to Colorado, Utah, Arizona State. They've been really seeking out those 4 members and wanting to add a couple more members to go from 12 to 14 once OU and Texas go to the SEC. And Colorado and some of the other presidents from the other universities have been waiting to see what the Pac-12 Media Day or Pac-12 Media Package was going to look like. It was supposed to be announced at Pac-12 Media Day. It wasn't. And Commissioner George Kliavkoff has said that, hey, it's coming. It's going to happen, but there's still no deal in place. And it's kind of a matter of musical chairs at this point, right? And wanting to make sure that you're ensuring your future as a program and as a university, and with no certainty with what the Pac-12 revenue is going to look like, with no media deal in place. I guess Colorado got a little bit impatient on waiting on that, and looks like sounds like they're going to make the move. The Big 12 presidents are also scheduled to meet on the addition of Colorado as well. And so the SEC, 16 teams, Big 10, of course, 16 teams. And then, again, Big 12 is at 12, 14, but could they add 4? That's kind of going to be the question for me now. Are they going to add another to make it 14? Will they add 3 more to make it 16? So how does it look going forward from there? But again, George Kliavkoff, they just had the Pac-12 meetings, Big 10 Media Day 5 days ago. It was last Friday. And at Media Day, he was asked about it a lot, and he said, quote, "It is not a concern on losing more teams." Felt like that the teams that were in place were loyal to each other, and was kind of defensive about where the conference might look going forward if there was any potential of derailing of the conference. But again, no deal in place with that media deal, which is a big concern. And so, Dennis Dodd had put out that the Big 12 presidents are going to meet. So now it's just kind of a matter of making it official, and with the Board of Regents meeting tomorrow at 3, and then with the Big 12 presidents meeting on it. But the Commissioner Yormark from the Big 12 has been really aggressive since the announcement of OU in Texas, and then adding more teams. And the Big 12 certainly is in a more stable condition. And then he's been pretty vocal, and it certainly hasn't been private that they've been going after Colorado. And so sounds like the deal is going to get done. And so Colorado is headed back to the Big 12. And, myself coming recently from the Big 12, I know that was something that the fans in the Big 12 really missed, some of those rivalries. Colorado had some rivalries with some of the teams within the Big 12, as well as Nebraska. And so I know that a lot of fans will probably be excited about the addition of Colorado coming back. And so now we'll just expect to see who else could go, because, again, we talk about the dominoes being the shaky dominoes, and if this domino falls, what's the next domino? And, when we saw OU in Texas, that domino fall, and then here comes USC and UCLA. And now if Colorado does indeed make that move, to me, it's just a matter of time before some of those other Pac-12 schools jump ship or start looking for a better deal. Conference realignment was addressed a lot today with Tony Petitti. He talked about it and the potential of adding more teams. SEC Media Day, it was a big topic. Will they add more teams? And then also with the Big 12. So it's been a topic of conversation. I think people have expected, if the Pac-12 deal doesn't get done, that you're going to see some teams exit. So Colorado looks to be the first team, well, after USC and UCLA, but the first that are of the remaining teams that are going to jump ship and head to the Big 12. And so it could be a little wild ride here to see where the rest of the Pac-12 ends up, how they are going to manage to stay together if they do. But we were having this conversation about the Big 12 when OU and Texas made their jump. What's the Big 12 going to do? And then they managed to figure it out and add some teams and are in a pretty secure spot. But they're going to get a full revenue share from the Pac-12, from the Big 12 Media Day. Colorado is the full revenue share. Sometimes you are limited on the full share, but looks like they're going to get the full share as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. Going to get to a break quicker here because we have Greg coming up. He's going to join us from Big 10 Media Days as well as his interviews. So we got to get working a quick break here in our first segment, but keep it right here. Lots more to come. And if you want to be a part of the show, the Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, the number to call or text in. And Greg Sharpe back with us next here on Sports Nightly.
Is your garbage disposal not disposing? You had one job. Drains backing up can cause a horrible smell in a home, damaged pipes, and so much more. Some signs that your garbage disposal may be going out include frequent clogs, abnormal and louder noises than normal, or water is leaking from the bottom, just to name a few. John Henry's is here to take care of all the pipes and drains in your home. Call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new. It's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in scarlet and cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend, Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
To Hogemeyer, local means something greater. Raised local, raised right here in Husker Nation. Learn more at therightseed.com. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody, and Greg Sharpe has been a busy bee up in Indianapolis at Big Ten Media Days. Day one in the books. You surviving? How's it going?
Yeah, it was a good day. It's always good to be around people talking football, and there was certainly some uncomfortable moments when the Northwestern interim coach took the podium and talked. And I mean, the one thing that was kind of striking was he really didn't apologize or say his thoughts went out to the players who felt like they were wronged in this whole thing. There's just a little odd tenor to that whole thing today, but a lot of attention around Ohio State and Penn State, two teams that are going to start the year in the top 10. They were both here today to talk about the upcoming seasons, but just the odd feel from the Northwestern thing was different. Tony Petitti gave his State of the Union. He did not mention, and I think this was a mistake, Jessica, he didn't mention Northwestern. Now, he got questions about it,
right?
But I thought in his prepared remarks, he should have said something about, we're monitoring the situation, we're not happy about this, our member institutions need to be, he just didn't say anything about it and waited for questions to come. I thought that was kind of odd as well.
Yeah, I also thought that because, and we talked beforehand what we kind of thought he'd be asked, and it was the standard questions, the expansion, NIL, and Northwestern. But you would think if there's these kinds of allegations big enough that you have to fire or let go a head coach, that you would reprimand that kind of behavior. And he didn't seem to want to answer or really go really hard on that subject at all to me.
And I get it. It's not fun to talk about, but make some kind of statement. Make some statement that, we're certainly following this. We're disappointed in hearing, like all of you, these reports about mistreatment of student athletes. Just make don't wait for the questions to come. Be proactive and attack it and get a statement out there. So I was disappointed that Tony Petitti did not do that in his remarks today. I thought his other remarks were really good. He highlighted this past school year. He highlighted all the championship teams that the Big Ten produced, the individual athletes. He mentioned Caitlin Clark by name. He talked about, obviously he talked about the expansion that right now they're looking forward to integrating UCLA and USC into the system for next year. So he hit on a lot of different points, but just to ignore what he knew was going to be coming his way, and that was questions about that. And I just thought it was a swing and a miss by the new commish.
He talked a lot about the scheduling and how they're working really hard on trying to integrate USC and UCLA. That's a big focus for his team right now. And it's, he seems to feel really good about what they have in place for football. Now it's a matter of trying to figure out all the other sports.
Right. And they have time to do that. Obviously, you got to get a head start on football because of ticketing and all that type of thing to get that done. But yeah, now they got to figure out how do they weave these teams to make maybe road trips to pick off multiple games while they make a trek across the country to play. He was really proud of the TV partners. I thought that was an interesting sign. What they did after he was done and before the coaches came up, they had Joel Klatt from Fox, Gary Danielson from CBS, and then they had Todd Blackledge from NBC come up and kind of make opening statements. And they're really proud, and they should be, about the way this TV package has come together and that they're on 3 broadcast channels. They mentioned that word
a couple different times that they've got 3 of the main networks that are going to be televising Big Ten sports, starting with football this year. You should be proud of that. That's a really big deal to have that. So there were certainly some highlights. I think the commissioner, he handles himself pretty well. He's very well spoken. I thought he was that. I just think that not by taking on the Northwestern thing was not a great look for him today.
I was actually going to ask you about that, seeing those 3 guys from those 3 different networks, and it seems like the messaging, the approach is very much like, hey, you know, we're kind of united on this deal, and we want to give unprecedented coverage to the Big Ten. I thought that was cool to see those 3 guys up there together and talking about how excited they were to take on this endeavor essentially together.
Yeah, it really was, to see 3 guys who are competitors, right? I mean, they're all vying for the same college football fans' eyes on Saturdays. To see them at the podium at the same time was neat. Now, CBS has 1 more year still left with the SEC. So this year they're only doing a handful of Big Ten games, and they're doing our game with Iowa on Black Friday. But they're still going to be doing a lot of SEC games this fall. Now, that goes away after this year. It'll all be Big Ten moving forward. And but, yeah, those 3 are all great. And, you know, I think it's going to be great exposure for student athletes across the board, and not just football. And I was glad to see Tony Petitti mention the other sports and mention the Olympic sports and the plan to keep highlighting them and getting them more exposure on the various avenues that they have. I was told today, and I think maybe I mentioned this the other night, that Peacock, this year at least, is only going to focus on football and men's and women's basketball. So for those of you who, and I'm going to encourage you, you're going to want to get Peacock. I think there's a strong chance one of our Husker football games probably going to be on Peacock this year. But for this year, Peacock's only going to focus on football, men's, and women's basketball.
Well, to kind of put a bow on Northwestern, how did David Braun handle himself? It was an uncomfortable situation. I'm sure we talked yesterday that the players decided not to come. I couldn't believe they even had them scheduled to come in the first place and to handle that situation. But you have the interim head coach up there for the first time having to navigate through this. How did he handle himself?
Jessica, for a guy that 12 months ago was the defensive coordinator at North Dakota State, very little media attention, and I thought he did pretty well. Again, I would have liked of him maybe to show a little bit more, send some condolences to some players who feel like they've been wronged in that athletic department. I don't think Northwestern has handled this very well. I think it should have been their AD up there on the big podium making some statements. He made a brief appearance on BTN and then skedaddled out of here. He wasn't around at all for people to try to get him. I felt bad for the now interim head coach for Northwestern, but I thought he did okay with what he had to deal with. I got into debate today, Jessica, you'll be interested in this, with a handful of media people, and some are adamant that they think it was a mistake for Northwestern not to have their players here today. But then there's a lot of reporters that were like you and I have said, there's no way you can run those people out there today. So it was interesting to just hear the differences with some of the media people kind of debating whether the right call was made by those athletes not to be here and handle all these questions that they would have gotten here today for Northwestern.
I feel like that's, to put them out in front of the media for the first time, needs to be their local media, because you've got national people that this is their only time to do these kinds of stories, to have this kind of interaction with players. It would have never been about the football team and this season. It would have just been about the controversy. To me, is the questions that they would just get grilled about. I just don't think it was a fair position to put them in at this point. You know, the first time they need to be addressing, to me, needs to be in front of their local folks that cover them, and that, you know, you can maybe a little bit rein in a little bit on the questioning.
Don't you find it odd, too? They have not had a press conference about any of this yet. They've done just straight releases, which I just think is real. And again, maybe that's part of being a private school. Maybe you have more flexibility with that. But the first public statements made about any of this was by this now interim head coach that's been on campus for 7 months. I mean, he was not there all of last season, so he has really no history with this. He was getting questions at the podium later in the day, Jessica, from people that said, well, this assistant coach and this assistant coach and that assistant coach, they've been here 8 to 10 years. Are you keeping them on staff? What are you doing? What are your plans? He didn't have great answers for that. He says, as of now, yes, they still are employed and still helping with this football team right now.
Did other coaches, other head coaches get asked about that situation and what's in place to prevent it happening in their programs, or if they had thoughts on what was going on at Northwestern?
They did. Absolutely. Got asked, how are you sure this isn't happening in your locker rooms? Is this not happening on your campus with your various sports? So it's an eye-opening moment, I think, for everybody in college sports. Make sure you know what's going on in those locker rooms, and you better be monitoring that. And, yeah, absolutely. They all did get asked about it today. Even Brett Bielema got asked about whether he's seen the Barbie movie. I don't know that question needed to be asked, but it did get asked.
So that was the most random question of the day, was about the Barbie movie?
The most random one that I heard today. I'm sure there was some other ones.
Of all the head coaches, Brett Bielema seems like the least likely to watch the Barbie movie.
Right? He had a little interesting side note. He did reveal today that in his contract right now with Illinois, that he has a non-compete clause, that he cannot go to another Big Ten school. Why is that important? Brett Bielema played at Iowa. And I think, I think there's a sense that there's maybe Kirk Ferentz doesn't have a lot more time left at Iowa, that he's probably approaching retirement age. But Illinois has made sure that that's not an option for Brett Bielema. Should Kirk Ferentz step down anytime soon, that Brett Bielema is not going to be allowed to go to Iowa.
Wow, that's fascinating. Seemed like another big topic today was NIL, that everybody was getting asked about their thoughts about it, what needs to change. Was that pretty much, even the things that we didn't see on TV or that wasn't posted, was that a big topic of conversation throughout that building?
It was, and the commissioner was pretty bold about it. He said, we're doing NIL, but it's not the way NIL was intended to be. And so, he got some pushback on that from people that said, well, on one hand, you're up here talking about record revenues from your TV partners, and yet you don't want these athletes to get the pay for play that it's kind of turned into, which I'm not saying he's wrong. I think we all agree there need to be some guardrails put up for NIL, but Kirk Ferentz has been adamant all along, the longtime Iowa head coach. He's not a fan of NIL. He's not really a fan of the transfer portal either. I think that's kind of the old guard view of college sports. I think it's not going to be you can't put the genie back in the bottle like Kirk Ferentz wants to do. But I think we all agree, and I think Tony Petitti was strong on it because he does want some changes to be made with NIL moving forward, and it's just not going out there and the team with the biggest budget can go out there and get the best teams put together, kind of basically buy a really good team in whatever sport you're looking at. And it's not just football and men's basketball. We've seen it affect a lot of other sports. We all know about LSU and baseball, how much they went out and spent on NIL money, and it got them a national title a month ago in Omaha. So it's affecting more than just the big sports.
Well, how about the timing of this front office sports article on PJ Fleck and the lead itself? Former players, staff reveal troubling allegations of toxic culture under PJ Fleck, and he's scheduled to go tomorrow. How about that timing and the questions he's going to get asked tomorrow?
Yeah, I talked to some people from Minnesota after that popped a couple of hours ago, and they said that these same 4 or 5 players have been making a lot of noise for several years, that this is not a really new report, that the university has investigated some of this in the past with him. But you're right, tomorrow is going to be a really interesting day, Jessica, because they're here. So's Jim Harbaugh with all this reports that he's about to serve a 4-game suspension. So the breath of fresh air tomorrow is going to be Matt Rhule and the Huskers. I mean, I think Matt Rhule, and we mentioned it last night, has a chance to really be the talk of this whole 2-day affair. I think he's going to be the light at the end of the tunnel tomorrow, because he's going to wow people when he gets up on that podium or when he's at the smaller podium and addressing questions from media all over Big Ten region. So today was kind of mild. You did the Northwestern thing, but tomorrow it's going to get lit because of this report that came out today with PJ and then Jim Harbaugh.
Andrew would be proud of you using the word lit right there. But how about Coach Rhule's tweet with the volleyball team today? How about that?
he continues to just hit it out of the park, doesn't he? I mean, he took a situation that was poorly executed on a lot of parts, and he spins it and comes out of it looking like a hero, right? I mean, just amazing how good he is at those type of things. And again, it just makes you, it endears you more to him, doesn't it? I mean, it just makes you like the guy even that much more.
Especially when there's all this negativity surrounding some of the other coaches in the league. And for him to, come out with that, it's like, oh, thank you. Thank you. We needed that breath of fresh air.
It's like walking through a fresh garden. You're like, you just feel better being around Matt Rhule. And so I think he does that as well. So a lot of fun today. I had a great time catching up with Damon Benning, and he's a big fan, and so the high chews. So I think we maybe have found a common ground.
Thank goodness.
With the network.
Thank goodness. That is good to hear that we have found something that we can all agree on, because we have not had much luck doing that up until this point. So you're a fan too, then?
Oh, I do. When I opened the packet and had a couple of them, I know I've had these before. I do like them. So they're not nearly as chewy as Starburst, where it takes you 10 minutes to get it, chomp one down. These go down much better.
And the wrapper is a little bit easier to open too. I'll give you that. But the Rainbow Sherbet High Chew is where it's at, and I've got a package of those on the way. I couldn't find those in store, so we're going to try those as well. But I think we're going to like those even more. All right, last thing for me, just big things that you're looking forward to tomorrow, other than Matt Rhule taking his turn at the podium.
Well, will Jim Harbaugh wear a ball cap? That's usually kind of a 50-50 proposition. It's really odd to see a guy come in a coat and tie, and he's got a baseball cap on, but he might do that. But tomorrow's kind of is the new coach day. You got Luke Fickell from Wisconsin, who a lot of people are anxious to hear from him. You've got Matt Rhule. You've got Ryan Walters from Purdue coming in tomorrow. So it's a big day for the new coaches in the Big Ten West tomorrow. So I'm anxious to hear from Luke Fickell tomorrow. And then, Nebraska will be a star with Matt Rhule. We'll have a sit-down with Coach tomorrow night here on the program. We'll open the sit-down with Jeff Sims tomorrow as well on Sports Nightly. So should be a lot of fun. I want to catch up with Mike DeCourcy, who works for BTN. Jessica, he's a long time covers college basketball. He's here obviously covering the football media day as well. But I want to talk to Mike DeCourcy about a topic you and I have talked about a couple times, and that is, are we ready to expand the NCAA basketball tournaments? I'm not a fan. I want to see where Mike DeCourcy is on that. Hoping to catch up with him tomorrow as well.
Listen, you brought up hoops, so I got to get there. Did you see Art in Los Angeles' text last night that kind of ranking where he thought the horse standings would be?
So off base. I would be dominant in the horse.
I don't know about that. I kind of like where he had the standings. He had you in last.
Dead last? Come on, Art.
I thought he was really your boy. All right, well, coming up, we're going to hear from Greg and Damon Benning, and then also Matt Cassel. You got a chance to chat with him as well. That's coming up next. Greg, we'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow and hearing more about Nebraska and their turn at Big Ten Media Days. Thanks.
All right, you bet. Have a great show.
And again, Greg Sharpe will be with us here the next couple of hours, and we'll check in with him tomorrow as Nebraska takes their turn. Greg joining us on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, that number to call or text in. And we're going to work in a break here on Sports Nightly, but keep it right here. Much more of the show coming up.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hey, Husker fans! The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now, with 10 nonstop flights to
get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. Want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and again, Big Ten Media Days underway in Indianapolis, and one of the big topics are about the new media partners that will be showcasing Big Ten football this fall. A lot of the talent that have been brought in the inaugural coverage from CBS, NBC, all of that on hand today. And Matt Cassel, the former USC and NFL quarterback, was on hand. He's going to be a part of the NBC broadcast coverage teams. And Greg had a chance to chat with him earlier today.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Delighted to be joined by Matt Cassel of NBC Sports. That's got a nice ring to it.
It's got a great ring to it, doesn't it? I mean, it's one of those things. When I got offered the job, I couldn't have been more excited to come back to the college football game, because everything that it entails, from the traditions, the heritage, the teams, it's just it really was a dream come true.
What's your role going to be?
We're going to be on pregame, halftime, postgame. We're going to be at the site of the game, so that'll be an incredible opportunity to go out there and celebrate, like I said, these schools, but also be amongst the fans, go inside the stadium, and I think it'll bring a great energy to the actual show.
We're a year away from your alma mater being a part of this league. Doesn't that seems strange, doesn't it?
it seems strange. I remember when I was in the Pac-10 back in the day, then it went to the Pac-12, and now USC, UCLA coming to the Big Ten. It sounds a little strange, but I know that I've talked to so many people around the country, and everybody's super excited because can you imagine the Ohio State, USC, Nebraska, USC, the traditions of the school, the heritage that they have in meeting up, and then also bringing the East Coast, Midwest, all the way out to the West Coast and vice versa. So I think it's going to be a really exciting time for the conference and also for USC and UCLA to join.
I know that the Pac-12 has struggled in some of their institutions to really draw bigger crowds. That's not really a problem in the Big Ten. There's maybe a little bit different field of Big Ten football, I would think.
There is, and you know, it's about the state, the communities, the people themselves, the buy-in. There's so much loyalty to these programs, and it might be a little bit different when you get out to the West Coast, but I'll tell you what, the traditions at USC and the fan base, they're loyal. UCLA is the same way, and I think that it'll be a great complement to the Big Ten.
You did not play in the era of NIL. And as a quarterback at USC, you probably could have benefited from that. But we heard the commissioner earlier today talk about it's not really doing what it was designed to do. Give me your thoughts about it, and do you have a thought where it should go?
It's complicated, and I think that they're trying to get ahead of the curve right now because it's so new and everybody's adapting to the new normal. And I think the biggest thing for me as a student athlete, or being a student athlete before, is educating these kids about financial literacy and understanding what that means. And at the same time, you know, they have the opportunity to go out and make a tremendous amount of money, but are they chasing money for the right reasons, and what are they going to do with that money? So some of it's that, and then it's also just navigating the new normal, like I said, with the coaching staff, and what does that mean, how they bring and able to recruit players with this NIL money that they're able to actually give these kids now.
You also played in an era pre-playoff, which now college football has gone to, and it's going to expand to 12. Good move, do you think?
I think it's a great move because you see a lot of these two-loss teams at the end of the year, and they had a bad game or they lost their championship game. They don't get into that college football playoff because there's only 4 teams. But now with 12, I mean, the ability for some of these two-loss teams to get on a roll, to go into the playoffs, and also the excitement around the country as the build-up happens and everybody gets an opportunity, because there's teams all over the country that I think will feel like they have an opportunity to get in that top 12, and I think it adds a lot for every player and every coach.
Had a nice career in the NFL. Nebraska's new coach is coming from the NFL, and Matt Rhule. Just your initial thoughts of Matt. What have you observed of him?
I'm really impressed with how he's embraced his new role as the head coach, and at the same time what he's done, he's reached out, he's gone and tried to reconnect with the state of Nebraska and their faithful, and at the same time he's done it before, and he went to Temple and he rebuilt that program, he went to Baylor, did that, and now he's got another opportunity here, and you can tell by the way that the players are talking about it and the attention to detail. They talk about the situational football and how many games, as we were just discussing, were lost in the last few years. 15 games decided within 1 score or less, but they've lost 13 of those, and how important those little things are, because it really becomes the little details in every football game that is the difference maker, and in this case, particularly for Nebraska.
Yeah, we're visiting Matt Cassel here on Sports Nightly. Should his lack of success in the NFL concern Husker fans at all, or is it 2 totally different levels?
It's 2 totally different levels, and you can even refer back to Nick Saban when he went to Miami for 1 season and didn't have the success that he thought he was going to have, and he went back. It's a different game altogether, but at the same time, I think that it was a learning opportunity for him, and it's a growth opportunity for him, and I think anytime you go through those type of adversities and those hardships, as a coach, you have to take a hard look in the mirror. You have to go back and say, what did I do right? Where did it go wrong? And make those corrections so you're better when you get your next opportunity.
He's doing something really interesting, Matt. He's moving the team into the dorms for the first 2 weeks of practice, which is kind of an NFL thing, right? You probably did that in going to camps.
I sure did. Now, I'm not going to say it was always my favorite experience, you know, sleeping on a lumpy little cot there in the dorms, but what it does do is I think it brings the team together. You're able to create camaraderie, and all of your focus, all your attention, all the distractions are gone because you're just focused on football from a day-to-day experience, and I think that really helps build your team as you get ready for season.
All right, as you look at this league, Michigan's the pick, probably rightfully so. Ohio State obviously is going to throw a talented team. How do you look at this league?
You know, you can talk about the East. Obviously, you got Michigan, who's won won the Big Ten the last 2 years. You've got Ohio State that's in the mix, and Ryan Day's done a tremendous job since he's gotten there. And obviously there's a lot of frustration among the Ohio State faithful that they haven't. But Penn State had a heck of a year last year. James Franklin's done a great job. Maryland, at the same time, you see them. They're bringing back their quarterback, Tagovailoa, who's had an outstanding career and hopefully can build on that. But then there's a lot of newcomers to this league. You look at Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. You look at Matt Rhule with Nebraska. Iowa. They end up winning 8 games every year, but they haven't been able to produce on offense. But they go to the transfer portal, and they bring in Cade McNamara, who maybe can give them a boost on the offensive side of the ball. And then you got Ryan Walter with Purdue, and they won the Big Ten West last year. So I think there's going to be incredible competition, and there's opportunities for teams to make big strides. And then it really comes down to when they get that opportunity to have a seat at that big table. Can you knock off the Ohio States? Can you knock off the Michigans and the Penn States? Because right now they set the standard, and everybody else has to catch up to that.
Last thing for you, the commissioner referenced the Rose Bowl. And it's been such a big part of this conference for 100 years. It was for the Pac-12, and I'm sure that was always a goal for your football teams at USC. Do we lose a little bit of that luster maybe with the playoff, or can that be incorporated, do you think, moving forward in college football?
Hopefully it can be incorporated moving forward, because the Rose Bowl, the tradition, the games that have taken place, and as you referred to it when I was at school, it was always our goal is to win the Pac-10, to go to the Rose Bowl, and usually it was against a Big Ten team, and my second to last year was one of the best experiences that I had was playing Michigan in the Rose Bowl, for the granddaddy of them all, and so hopefully that they can still incorporate that. And I'm sure they'll find a way too, because again, you don't want that to go away because it's such a big part of college football.
We were talking before we started, I assumed you moved back to California. You're a California guy, but you settled in kind of in the Midwest.
I have. I'm now living in Tennessee, and we've been there since 2016 and found a home and really kind of started to lay down roots there. I've got 5 kids. It's been an incredible place to raise family with great values, good schools, and we're just entrenched in the community. So we're very pleased, and I don't think we're heading back out west anytime soon.
Well, congratulations. I can't wait. I hope we get you in Lincoln this year. If not this year, maybe next year. But congratulations on the new thing with NBC.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to this season.
Matt Cassel. Jessica?
Great interview there from Greg with Matt Cassel. That just sounds awesome. NBC and the Big Ten. All right, got to work in our final break here of hour number 1. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Discover new ways to purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan. Right now, lease the 2023 Nissan Ariya Engage 4-wheel drive for $389 a month for 36 months. Visit us online today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, 10,000 miles per year, $19.99 down plus first payment, $299 doc fee due at signing. Discount based on sale price of $44,735. Deal includes $1,000 Ariya Engage 4-wheel drive bonus Nissan cash rebate and $1,000 Ariya loyalty bonus cash rebate. VIN number PM407668. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final few minutes here of hour number one of Sports Nightly. Matt Cassel is a part of that NBC, it's a studio show, their inaugural season, Big Ten College Countdown Studio Show. So we've heard really in the past week or two, both CBS and NBC have been announcing some of their talent teams and Fox as well. And so for Matt Cassel, he's going to bring that USC coverage into it, the former USC quarterback. Maria Taylor, who came over from ESPN to join the NBC team, she's going to be anchoring. She's going to be the host of that studio show. Former Ohio State linebacker Joshua Perry, and then the Penn State fullback Michael Robinson will be that studio team there on NBC for the Big Ten College Countdown Studio Show. So more times and places for Nebraska football have been released. And again, they were talking about today how the Tony Petitti was talking about some of the coverage that the Big Ten is going to get with those networks and the broadcast opportunities for the Big Ten, and they are hoping to get over 44 games, I believe, on broadcast television. And one of those games this year is going to be on Black Friday with Iowa and Nebraska on CBS. So that is going to be so exciting to see. Still got a lot to get to here coming up over the next couple of hours. We're going to hear more from the commissioner, Tony Petitti. We didn't hear much of him in hour number one, so we're going to have a few of those clips from his press conference today, his very first press conference at Big Ten Media Days as the Big Ten commissioner. And Damon Benning, Greg got a chance to catch up with him. We've been talking about, we lined him up. He hadn't been on the show in a while. Damon will be back for us in our football broadcast coverage this year in the analyst booth with Greg and me. So we're excited to have him back on board. And Greg was able to chat with him at Big Ten Media Days earlier today, too. So I'm sure Greg will have a lot of thoughts from him coming up. And also, I challenged him to see if we could find a candy that we all agreed on, because that's been a pretty contentious topic here. We've argued about that quite a bit. They don't like Starburst. So High Chews. We're going to see if Damon is a fan of High Chews, and Greg as well, so we can see if we can all come to an agreement on a candy around here and maybe fill up a new candy bowl here in the studio. All right, so stick around. Fast first hour, fun first hour, and we've got much more to come here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Hour number 2, Sports Nightly, ahead right after this break.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans! The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now, with 10 nonstop flights to major cities at affordable prices, it's easier than ever to help bring the Sea of Red to away games. Or to visit popular vacation spots like Las Vegas, Orlando, and Nashville. Visit GoFlyLNK.com to book your trip today and fly like a Husker. Go Big Red!
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland, and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Good evening. I'm Jake Schrantz, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, the Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti spoke to the media during the first of 2 Big Ten football media days this week in Indianapolis. One point that he hit on was how to stay focused this year while preparing for changes with USC and UCLA coming to the conference in the near future.
When it comes to the schedule this year, we're ready. We have work done right in front of us. Today is the start of that. You know, we've got we owe that to the conference to all of our existing members to make sure we put everybody in the best place this season. I don't think there's any distraction. You know, I think we're able to do, 2 things at once, look forward and at the same time do everything we need to do day in and day out for this football season, not just our football, but also the rest of, the schedule this year for Big Ten sports. So I feel like we have the staff and the depth. We've done some things internally to shore up our staff to be able to do that, to put more energy into the integration of USC and UCLA. So I feel like the staff adjustments that we've made will allow us to do that effectively.
We'll have even more Big Ten Media Day coverage later on in the show. In other Big Ten news, Nebraska Bowling's 2023-2024 schedule was released today. The Huskers are looking to add another national title to their name, starting against Youngstown State on October 13th to October 15th. For more details, visit Huskers.com. The new UNL Chancellor Rodney D. Bennett announced today that August 30th would be an instructional continuity day. Students now will have more time to make their way to a sold-out Memorial Stadium for the largest attendance for a college volleyball match in history. The U.S. women's soccer team continues group stage play for the World Cup as they get set to take on Netherlands at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight. Fans can tune in to watch the match tonight live on Fox. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next, Hour 2 of Huskers Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
It trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for the in the air. Marquise Buford makes a pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6. DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end. So you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe is in Indianapolis for Big Ten Media Days, getting all kinds of coverage there. He'll be there tomorrow as Nebraska will take their turn. Visiting with all of the media from across the country, national, local media from around everywhere across the Big Ten. And so we'll have lots of coverage coming up tomorrow. He's scheduled to talk with Matt Rhule, perhaps Jeff Sims. So we will have great coverage coming up tomorrow as well. But he had a chance to catch up with Damon Benning, who's going to be joining us again as the color analyst on our Nebraska football broadcast. It's been a minute since Damon was on the show, and so Greg spent a few minutes with him up in Indy.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Boy, I found him. I've lassoed our guy, Damon Benning. How's your summer been?
It's good. It's been really, really busy, but it's football centric, and it's we're around young people, and I get to see you, so it's good. It's really good.
These events, and you and I have talked about it, it's maybe not quite as intimate as it used to be in Chicago in the ballrooms and stuff, but it is kind of fun to be here and talk football.
It is, and you kind of get a chance to see how other people interact in this kind of setting, like. Does the demeanor match the persona and stuff like that? So it's kind of cool, but you're right, it is wide open. And I just kind of like people watching. I normally I try to mind my own business, but when it's football coaches interacting with media, I think you can definitely get a feel.
You and I were last year big fans of Michigan. I don't know if you still are this year. I think they could win the whole thing, not just the Big Ten. And I think their line play is Harbaugh's kind of found the magic, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And, offensive line really started to come around. And this year they arguably will have the deepest and certainly one of the best defensive lines, if not the country, certainly in the Big Ten. They can play 4, 5, 6 guys along the trenches. And let's be honest, they really didn't start contending and beating Ohio State until they got better up front. It wasn't the skill guys, right? Ohio State still probably has the skill guys, but O-line, D-line is definitely residing in Ann Arbor, and they'll be right there when this thing is all said and done, too, just because of the way they play in the trenches.
Last year, the divisions. What's your take on the West?
Well, I feel like you'll be good at this, too. Don't you feel like the last 2 or 3 years you say, oh, it's right for the picking. Oh, it's right for the picking. And you feel like it's kind of wide open. And this year, again, it's going to be a new face and a new place at the quarterback spot for every team in the West for the most part, depending on what happens at Northwestern. But, you're thinking you got to give yourself a chance while schools are breaking in quarterbacks and a few schools with new systems. So not a lot of tenure coming back at the helm in the West. A lot of new coaches with Bielema and Ferentz kind of holding court with Fleck, and then everybody else we're starting anew. So the West should be a little open. I still would probably go Wisconsin 1, Iowa 1A. And then I think Illinois and Minnesota are right there. I think Minnesota may be a little bit better than I originally thought, and I certainly think Illinois will be good.
I'm fascinated by Wisconsin. They're going to change styles a little bit from something that's been pretty successful for them, but I'm a pretty big fan of Fickle. What do you make of them and what we're going to see out of the Badgers?
Well, he's been fantastic so far. He's very they have some similarities to Coach Rhule, where when you watch him work and practice, he's hands-on. He does special teams. He does O-line. He's got a good staff that is kind of cohesive. He brought a lot of guys over from Cincy, and he's got some pieces, right? They bring experience back up front. They've got two, you and I were joking, they've got 2 really good running backs coming back, and we'll see if Mordecai can take good care of the football. I think defensively, it'll take a while for it to settle in because they don't have a ton of depth, but they've got a lot of pieces. And, arguably you can make the case that Nebraska and Wisconsin got the 2 best new coaches, certainly in the conference, and maybe you can make the discussion in college football.
The dark cloud, Damon, has been the Northwestern situation the last couple of weeks. You and I have not talked. Your thoughts about that, and how surprised were you when you heard all that come out?
I was shocked. I couldn't believe that I was so off on what we thought, kind of how they were winning, what the culture was like, and I still don't know. I don't want to sit here and act like it was running rampant. I don't know if it was a small section, if it was however long it went on, but I am surprised, especially as the reports continue to trickle out and the unceremonious departure of Pat Fitzgerald, and I couldn't believe it. You and we were listening to Coach Braun, and this is the first public press conference that Northwestern has had, and it was at Big Ten Media Days, and we still hadn't heard from their AD. So, I'm not sure. I'm sure Dr. Gregg's got a plan in place for that athletic department, but it was a total shock, and this may take them a while to overcome.
You were part of locker rooms, and I think locker rooms are different in 2023 than they were in 1995. And some of the stuff you hear, you're going, okay, I kind of see that happening, but we're kind of in a different day and age, and you deal with young athletes on a daily basis now.
Absolutely, and I think self-awareness and kind of being able to read the room is a big part of it. And you're right, though. You do bring up a good point that I think some people forget about. The locker room is kind of a sacred place, and we didn't see a lot of our coaches in the locker room, outside of it being halftime and maybe us meeting right before pregame. They weren't in and out of the locker room. They did a very good job of respecting that was kind of the players' domain, and there wasn't a lot of overlapping. But just with what's going on culturally and being self-aware and people feeling empowered, to kind of speak out, I think It just was a situation that really caught me off guard, and just the brevity of it. I mean, that was swift. We went from kind of
2 weeks
joking to a 2-week non-paid leave to a coaching search, right? It happened in about 72 hours.
Busy with Damon Benning, our Damon Benning here on Sports Nightly, here on the Huskers Radio Network. All right, Nebraska's here tomorrow. For Matt Rhule, first time to be at a Big Ten Media Day as a head coach. I want to ask you about the transition, because Nebraska, when they moved from the Big 12 to the Big 10, it was a different kind of style of play. What challenges will Matt face, do you think, here in year one in this league?
Yeah, so he may be the throwback. If maybe this was 2012 or 2013, it would be a lot smoother transition because he's a power guy. You're going to see fullbacks and tight ends and 21 personnel, and he wants to win up front with toughness. I think there are parts of this conference that are moving to more of a spread concept where you have to be a little bit of a throwback. Now, there's going to be some teams that can run the football this year. Penn State's got a pair. Michigan's got a pair. Wisconsin's got a pair. Iowa will run the football. We know what Bielema wants to do at Illinois. And listen, if Ryan Day's smart, they'd find a way to – listen, I know Harrison and those guys are here, and they're fantastic, but – if you want to win conference titles, I think, in November, you got to be able to run the football. So I think Coach Rhule's physicality will serve him well. It may not be a smooth transition, but it will lessen kind of the jump that I think that they have to make, because he wants to play good ball control defense. And he's one of the first of the new head coaches that Nebraska's had in the last 20 years that started talking about defense. Defense really matters to him, and I think that evolution, I think it'll develop quicker than the offense. I'm speculating a little, and if it does, he can get off to a little bit quicker start.
Just remember when we made the jump and Bo was the head coach, and we just didn't have enough linebackers because we covered spread week after week after week in the Big 12, and it just didn't have enough inside backers. But you go add MJ Sherman, you add some guys out of the portal, you move a Bullock to scholarship. Maybe I think they realize they better have more depth there.
Yeah, the second level, that's going to be a fun group to sort through. I use fun because I don't have to go bang heads, but highly competitive. You'll have about 8 or 9 guys. And he kind of gave you a glimpse towards the end of his pressers in the spring. He said at the linebacking spot, you'll have every opportunity to go win a job based on the way that we practice. So that let me know that there's going to be a certain level of physicality that they want to play with. And that second level is going to be interesting, right? Kind of a new system. They're a little lighter, a little quicker. They'll have to be able to run and hit. It could be a lot of fun, but it will be very, very competitive.
Coach Rhule, the Huskers will be here tomorrow, so let's kind of skip ahead to next week. Camp does start next week. Are there a couple of areas of this team that you're more intrigued by and it's a big August for? And maybe it's the running back room, your old position, about how that separates out. Well, where do you think the biggest emphasis need to be in August?
So there's two. The D-line, situational depth, and having some bodies that can command some double teams. Ty Robinson's continued development and guys like that. But then this one may be a little bit of a surprise. I think the wide receiver spot is a little bit of a concern for me. I worry about Nebraska's ability to generate enough big plays early. Even though they want to play ball control, it will be a shot offense when they do get vertical with the passing game. So I think the development of more wide receivers, it'll be led by Kemp and Marcus Washington and maybe Xavier Betts. Could be tight end heavy too. Depending on what happens with Gilbert, you got Borkacher back, a healthy Fedoni. I think the wide receiving room, how Nebraska throws the football, is a little bit of a concern for me.
It gets going. How about the dorm? Moving them into the dorms. You didn't do that, did you?
No, it's very interesting, though. I go back and forth. The old me would have probably liked it. The young me would have fought it tooth and nail, because you work so hard during camp, and we had actual two-a-days, and you couldn't wait to get away from the stadium and get back in your own bed and kind of grab some peace of mind there. So that'll be interesting, and I think just to see 105 guys trek across the middle of campus will be interesting too. He's about continuity and chemistry, and listen, there's no quicker way to do it than to spend spend time with one another. If iron sharpens iron, you may get a few sparks.
Do you think that's an NFL influence to him? Because you do that in the NFL?
I do. I think just the time alone and to stay with one another, and he's got the staff there. They've got to get acclimated too. They don't get any days off with that. So I do think that's a part of it, where they want to use it to bond and come together as one another. And then it makes it all the more special sometimes when you break camp, where it's like, okay, we're done, we're ready for the season, you know, here comes Minnesota, and you'll have a chance to reflect at what being together for 2 weeks can do for you.
I think he's done a really good job in the last 7-8 months getting team chemistry. I've been on a couple shows already today where they go, how's he done getting the team together? I think he's been excellent in that area.
Yeah, he's really stretched you guys, hasn't he? Where he wants you to learn to function when you're uncomfortable and when it's not easy, and getting to know new guys. You know, he's got them back in the classroom as opposed to online. You can't really have phones a ton. You got to eat together. You picked your teams, kind of their battalions for the mat games, were all sorts of different players. It wasn't just your buddies. So I think he's forced guys to get outside their comfort zone a little bit, and hopefully it serves them well.
Speaking of bonding, Jessica's really on a bent for all of us to agree on a certain candy. She's a Starburst. I'm not. I don't know that you really are either. It's too chewy. So she sent with me, she wants us all to try High Chews. Now, I don't know if you're a High Chew guy.
Big High Chews guy.
There's a way there.
So here's the difference. Do you see that flavor, that green apple they have? These are really good. And I'm telling you, be careful. There's an addictive component. I don't like to work real hard for a wrapper and, you know, chew and chew, but they have great flavor. This is a really good choice. I hate to give her any credit, but this is a fantastic choice. The green apple is so good, it's almost addicting.
She's doing dances right now back in the studio going, I think I found our candy of choice.
It's pretty good. It's really good.
All right, I just hope I don't have to separate you two guys a lot during the season. Have fun. It's going to be here for you know. We'll be up in Minneapolis.
Can't wait. We'll get to travel together and hang out, and hopefully I want to get to a bowl game together. Right? Let's go hang out at a bowl game together. That's the goal.
Yeah. Damon Benning with us. So there you go, Jessica. You picked the winner. High Chew it is.
I love it. I love also Damon's comment about let's get to a bowl game. And also, how about Greg saying he's got to separate us when he's the one that stirs the pot? Always. He's always riling us up. He's like the older brother that causes the younger siblings to fight. But Cole, High Chews, I think that's the winner. I told you guys the rainbow sherbet is where it's at, but they did not have those, so I've got those on the way because those are the bomb. I mean, they might be up there with Starburst for me, the rainbow sherbet ones, other than the other. But I brought you guys some flavors. You like High Chews too, right?
Yes, you brought us. You were kind enough to bring us and some of the interns' flavors. I think the mango that's a front runner for me.
So I had the pack that I sent Damon and Greg had that green apple that I guess Damon's a fan of. I didn't know that when I sent that. And then yours was more of the pineapple, mango, and kiwi. So, but all right, well, we found a winner. That is, we can all agree upon that because we have not been able to find anything to agree upon before this. So I am proud of myself. And how about them actually giving me some kudos? That very rarely happens, so I'm going to soak it all in. All right, we have coming up on the show, we're going to hear from Tony Petitti. We've talked a lot about what he said. We're going to hear it. We're going to hear it right from him, what he had to say at the press conference at Big Ten Media Day. So keep it right here. And right now, enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel. From gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at steeldealers.com. Back with more here on Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in scarlet and cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. The only designated R1 research university in Nebraska, UNL's innovations power economic growth, precision ag production, tech breakthroughs, and future leaders in Nebraska. With the highest graduation rates and highest median earnings for recent grads of any public university in Nebraska, UNL is doing big things for our state.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Purchasing your vehicle has never been easier with Woodhouse Hyundai. Right now, lease the 2023 Hyundai Elantra SCL for $305 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles a year. Plus, when you shop Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Shopper Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit us online at WoodhouseHyundaiofOmaha.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $19.99 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee to assign it. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend. Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400. That number to give us a text or a call to be a part of the show. So we've been talking a lot about Big Ten Media Days. Greg, in hour number one, mentioned Tony Petitti in his first press conference at Big Ten Media Day and all the things that he kind of talked about, his big takeaways. He opened up with an opening statement and gave kind of a State of the Union of the Big Ten and highlighted some of the big accomplishments of the Big Ten. And then he got into taking questions. And so we're going to let you hear a few of his responses to a few of the big notables from what we took away from his question and answer session. And the first one was on regard to the transfer portal, how it seems to have gotten out of hand, and how can you slow or steady that process, and the other issues addressed with the transfer portal. That was the question that he was asked about the transfer portal.
One of the things that we're most focused on is just the incentives that are being created for students to consider leaving, right? So when you have a system that's providing, potential benefits for entering the portal, and a lot of athletes unfortunately aren't realizing those benefits when they enter the portal. So there's a little bit of a grass is greener on the other side. When I spend time with our coaches, the portal is an absolute priority. I think the combination of what's happening in terms of the benefits that are being provided with the freedom to move, that combination really came together at the same time. And so you've seen the system now operate together, and it's creating all kinds of different incentives that are fueling lots more kids to get there. And I think, when I talk to our leadership, what I get is a real deep concern about what's going to happen with graduation as students move at the levels that we're seeing today. Are they going to, moving credits and major changes? All of those things are important. And I think we're going to see the results of that pretty shortly with the data that comes out from this flood. But I think the first thing, the idea is, what can you do around the incentives? I think, we need to really spend a lot of time on that. And that's, I think, what our focus is. And that's why, I talk about the difference between true NIL and NIL that really is NIL. We got to do a better job of explaining what each thing is, right? And they're two very different things.
So you might recall about a couple months ago is a big hot topic when the Big Ten Conference made the announcement that the 7:30 p.m. mid-November game between Ohio State and who is it that they play? Michigan State. And that it would be in primetime on NBC. And then it kind of caused a little bit of an uproar because Ohio State and some of the other programs within the conference have kind of had this long-standing stance that they did not want to play night games in November because of the cold weather and all of that. And so it's kind of been this long-standing deal that they had in place that they wouldn't play night games, but then here comes NBC, and that was part of the TV deal, right? Was that the NBC game was going to be in prime time. You have the CBS slot at 2:30 and big noon kickoff at 11 a.m. or noon on Fox. And so, of course, you had to, I guess, make assumptions that you were going to play in prime time. And we had Trav on the show. It was right after that he talked about, hey, we'll play anytime. We'll love to have the coverage, but certainly there are some programs that are pretty adamant about wanting to play and not play past a certain time. So Petitti was asked about that, on the lack of communication between conference and television partners on what was promised and what was to be delivered.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to the work that was done before I got there. What I will say overall, that scheduling is the most collaborative process in the office. It doesn't work unless the conference staff is working with our athletic directors and SWAs, on a daily basis to come up with the solutions. There are historic things that get carried forward in every conference: who you play, when you want to play. And those things are all there, and we respect those. So, specifically, I think the first thing is, collaboration is obviously a big part of it. The second part of your question about, gets back to that old balance between in-person and TV, right? We hear that all the time. How do you balance the need of fans when they're traveling, at the same time trying to expose our programs to the biggest audience, especially, our national power programs that carry the load of most of that. So we understand that. I think some of the historic things that have been traditional in the conference in terms of when teams will schedule and when they won't are carried forward, and that's forward, and we respect that. And our job is to work with that, to see if there can be exceptions and changes, but at the same time understanding that those institutions are advocating for their fans and their student athletes, and we're respectful of that.
Back to NIL, and I talked a little bit about this last night. There's a couple of pieces of legislation that have been introduced to try to get an overall federal legislation, federal laws in place that oversee and kind of take back hold of the NIL legislation and rules and bylaws and all of that, and give the NCAA a little bit more power back, because the states have taken the power into their own hands. And so another question was asked on NIL, on the clarification of what true NIL means, because he had addressed that earlier about true NIL and what it was supposed to be when it was first implemented. So what that means and what can be done to enforce the rules and legislation.
I want to provide some clarity with what true NIL means, right? When I say true NIL, what I mean is that the ability of a student athlete to take advantage of their marketing rights from either local or national companies. And that depends on your ability, your exposure you receive, the strength of your social media, all of those factors, and all of that's great. And that should be unlimited. What we're seeing, though, is a sense of, because there's been this sort of lack of enforcement around traditional things like inducements for pay-for-play, we're seeing money move in different places. And it's away from our member institutions. So I think what we can do is, number one, we have very long-standing rules to address this, and we need to have the ability to enforce our rules. Partly we need support from Congress to be able to be put in a position to do that without litigation or anything hanging over our heads. So that's the balance, but then and try to explain the difference between those two. And look, in addition, you're seeing states come forward and pass legislation that really is only driven for one thing, to create more competitive power in that state, and that's just not the right place for us to be.
That's kind of what I was alluding to last night, is Texas right now and a few other states, Arkansas, have set themselves up to have more advantages in terms of recruiting because of the NIL or lack of laws that they have in place. It gives all the power, it takes all the power. And so again, just trying to even the playing field and make it equal across the board. And I think that's what everybody's been asking for from the start, is instead of having different states have different laws and things in place, and having then in turn having an advantage over other programs in other states, let's just get an overall legislation, rules, bylaws in place that can help monitor and make sure that everybody's doing things by the book. Okay, so the Northwestern hazing, and big black cloud it's been hanging over the Big Ten over the last couple of weeks, certainly over Media Day today. A lot of questions being asked about that. We heard Greg alluding to that, how all the different coaches and Tony Petitti getting asked a lot of questions about that. And we kind of were saying that we wished he would have come out and said, look, this is wrong, this can't happen, but he danced around it a little bit. So he was asked again, and again, this is, I think, the second question that he was asked about Northwestern and the hazing allegations. What conversations has he had with Northwestern AD and interim head coach?
Yeah, I've spoken with Derek a few times, and I think our focus has been on moving forward, what they're doing, keeping me informed about the investigations and what they're doing on campus. With respect to Coach Braun, we've been able to connect. My first outreach was to congratulate him on the opportunity. Obviously, it didn't happen the way I'm sure he envisioned in terms of becoming a head coach at this level, but at the same time, I wanted him to know that we're here to support him going forward. I think that's where their focus is. So the investigations will yield results about what has happened, but I think there's a commitment to understand what's expected going forward.
Finally, he had his press conference today before we heard the news about Colorado and their probable move to the Big 12, which we'll know more about tomorrow. So he was asked the question, because at all the other media days, all the other conference media days, all their commissioners were also asked a lot about expansion and potentially adding more teams to their conferences. So he was asked about what the feedback has been by other leaders in the conference on expansion beyond 16 teams.
And this came up, early. It comes up a lot over the last couple of months. But what I'll say is that all the direction I'm getting from leadership, our presidents and chancellors, our athletic directors, is to focus on USC and UCLA. We have a lot of work to do there. I'm proud of the scheduling format that we created in football. I think it touches on all the right things. But we have significant work to do on scheduling our other sports, especially our Olympic sports, to come up with the best solutions. I believe that we've got a good plan in motion. I think we'll learn from it, and then like anything, there'll be tweaks and changes. But overall, that's really where we are. I'm not getting direction to do anything else other than that in terms of just what the conference looks like right now.
So there are a few of the highlights from Tony Petitti and his press conference and his meeting with the media. One thing that I kind of wanted to know about and wish somebody would have asked him about, he came from the TV background. He was a TV executive. And so what it's been like navigating into this new position as a Big Ten commissioner, and how much those conversations have, with his background in TV, have helped him navigate also through this new TV deal, as there's going to be a lot of moving parts. So maybe if he had individual interview sessions or a breakout session, maybe someone asked him there. But I was kind of wanting to know a little bit more about, this role in particular and him taking over, and why he felt like it was a good move for him, and how he was suited for it, and what made him suited for it. But it was a lot about NIL and Northwestern, obviously, and those are the big topics. But we'll hear much more coming up tomorrow as Big Ten Media Days continue from the other coaches. We'll hear from Jim Harbaugh with his suspension, and PJ Fleck, as an article came out today about the culture in place at Minnesota, and which you heard Greg talking about earlier, said that he visited with a couple Minnesota folks that said that this kind of been the same group of players that have been trying to cause up some trouble for a while now, and always kind of a little bit hesitant when you see those anonymous sources and nobody going on the record about that. And that's what largely the article was based on, anonymous sources. But no doubt PJ Fleck will get asked about that as well. And then the new coaches with Matt Rhule and Ryan Walters. And yeah, so it's going to be a big day tomorrow. It's going to be, as Greg said earlier, to quote Greg Sharpe, it's going to be lit tomorrow at Big Ten Media Day. All right, got to work at another break here on Sports Nightly. Honk if you love trucks and bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. Visit any Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds, 1 in 336,000. Back with more on Sports Nightly right after this.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
FNBO free checking is checking that's actually free. No fees or minimums, and now no overdraft fees. It's ever so personal, with people to help every step of the way. And easy, with a mobile app that allows you to deposit checks and manage your account wherever you are. So make the switch so you can do more with the great big small bank. Visit FNBO.com to learn more, or stop on by. FNBO free checking. It's ever so free. Member FDIC.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to learn more about water softeners and our flexible financing offers, or call
John Henry's 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Jessica Coody here on Sports Nightly. Just got a couple of segments left here. It's been a fun show tonight. We talked a lot about this in hour number one in that first segment, that it is unraveling quickly for the Pac-12, as it seems all but basically a done deal that Colorado is headed back to the Big 12. The Board of Regents met earlier today. They set another meeting tomorrow. They have posted that the meeting is taking place, and now the agenda items have been posted, and it's action item athletics operations. And so they will formally apply for Big 12 membership on Thursday and will be guaranteed, this is from Brett McMurphy, a full media rights share of nearly $32 million in the Big 12 starting in 2025. And so this would be a move, it looks like moving in 2024. So that would leave the Pac-12 with just 9 teams, with USC and UCLA coming to the Big 10. I got to think that the Big 12 will add another team to make it at least 14, maybe 3 more teams, so to make it 16, even with the SEC and Big 10. But this is the first domino to fall. It's not been a good look for the Pac-12 commissioner, George Kliavkoff, who he was blindsided by USC and UCLA. He has not been great about the communication and making this media rights deal happen with a new TV deal. And so that's a big part of this realignment, is the money that comes along with that from the TV partners. And so if you're playing the game of musical chairs, you don't want to be left out. And so Colorado looks like they're going to be making that first move. I've been asked this a couple of times, well, who is the Big 12 going to get? If they get one, Brett Yormark, who's the Big 12 commissioner, he's been very aggressive since he took on as the commissioner of that league. Apparently, he's mentioned UConn as a potential, but that he really ideally would like to add another Power 5 school, so somebody from one of the Power 5 conferences. UConn would fit the basketball part of the Big 12. To me, it makes sense to go after, if you're only adding one, I think they should go after Utah, because then that adds somebody for BYU to add, and you still keep that rivalry there, and add another place to travel when you're talking about basketball teams, softball teams, and Utah's softball team was really good this past year too, but when you're making that trek of travel, you add another team that you can knock out those two schools up there. I know Arizona was another team that they were targeting, Arizona State. I don't know if Arizona State will split or not, but this is going to be fascinating. Here comes another domino to fall, and we'll see what the Big 12 will do if they will add another team or just stick with the 13, and what the Pac-12 is going to do. Not a good look for the Pac-12 as it gets really, really shaky for them from here on out, but we'll have more on that. Again, that Board of Regents meeting is set for 3 o'clock tomorrow. It's going to be live streamed, so we'll know a lot more come the showtime tomorrow night, and we'll have more on that. All right, got to work in our final break here on Sports Nightly. We're back to wrap up the show next. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Take your adventures to new heights when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Lincoln. Explore our current lineup to find a luxury SUV that exceeds your expectations. Receive 1.9% APR for 36 months on all 2023 Lincoln models. The Lincoln Aviator, Lincoln Corsair, Lincoln Nautilus, and Lincoln Navigator provide a sense of elevated peace to every moment of your drive. Experience the power of Sanctuary in-store or online at woodhouselincoln.com. With approved credit, expires 7/3/23. See dealer for details.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip.
Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with a Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment of this Wednesday night edition of Sports Nightly. I had to check myself. I couldn't remember even what day it was earlier. So Wednesday night edition of Sports Nightly. Dryce in our chat, on our YouTube chat, brought up a good point too. Utah's really good at women's gymnastics, which Oklahoma is the defending national champions. Utah is one of the dominant programs also in NCAA women's college gymnastics. So that's another program there that could add to the Big 12's resume in other sports. But let's face it, the big thing, the big driver here is football. So we'll see. I mean, I think I remember going through this. It's been several times now, but a couple years ago when OU and Texas went to the SEC and following along, what's the Big 12 going to do and who are they going to get? And so it's a fascinating storyline to follow. So here we go again. All right, Big 10, I'm just talking about the Big 12. Big 10 Media Days continue tomorrow. Nebraska will take their turn at the media roundtable, press conference, all of that. So wanted to bring in our guys, Jake, Camden, Cole. What are you looking forward to hearing? What storyline are you looking forward to following? Nebraska, any school that's going to be there tomorrow. Who's up first?
This is Cole.
Okay.
I'll go up first. You and Greg touched on it a little bit earlier. Luke, Fickle, Ryan Walters, and Matt Rhule, all new coaches. So I'm just curious to see how all the new head coaches transition to the Big Ten.
All right, Jake, what do you got?
I think Greg talked about the potential of talking to Jeff Sims, the Husker quarterback, newcomer. I think not too long ago he had a quote talking about how quarterback play was huge in the Big Ten, so getting to hear from him is going to be fun.
Yeah, I like that too. And you know, these are leaders that are selected to go represent your program. It's a big honor, and you want those captain-like players to go represent your program, and Jeff has certainly really embraced that role and is going to be a big-time leader for this team. So for his first time being here, and not even being here, but 6 months to be selected to go do that, he's obviously made a big impression, and so I'm also anxious to see how he handles that. That's a good one. All right, Camden, what do you got?
You touched on this in hour one, but I'm interested to see what PJ Fleck says after the allegations that came out today about things in his program that may not have been very good. I'm interested to see how he answers questions about that, and really just to see his persona up on the podium as well.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that delivers well at the podium, right? And he's going to get asked about it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it was also a big thing, big storyline on social media day. So there's no doubt about he's going to get asked about that. I'm with Greg as well, in addition to hearing Coach Rhule speak, because you know, he is a speaker, and he is very motivating and is great to listen to. I think he's going to win the press conference. But in addition to hearing Coach Rhule speak, I'm also anxious. I cannot wait to hear from Jim Harbaugh. And with the looming suspension of 4 games being handed down, and not official yet, but assuming that that's what it's going to be, 4 games, and then his first game out of the gate is going to be Nebraska. But he's always a pretty great listen to. You never know what he's going to say, so we'll see how he addresses all of that. I know his lawyer has come out and said they're not going to comment much on it, so you might get a lot of no comments or I can't comment, but how he's going to handle everything. And Cole, the new coaches as well, and the round, in addition to Matt Rhule, some of those new head coaches making their first appearance. All great ones, and we'll hear much more coming up tomorrow. Greg's going to have all kinds of coverage once again. Tomorrow night he'll join us on the show. So we've got another great show lined up for you coming up on our Thursday night edition of Sports Nightly. But thanks for listening to the Wednesday night edition. Thanks to Jake, Camden, and Cole, and Greg. It was a full team effort here tonight on the Huskers Radio Network. And we'll talk to you tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Visit Woodhouse Mazda during the Season of Discovery sales event and explore the entire lineup of award-winning Mazda sedans and CUVs, like the Swift and Sporty Mazda CX-30. Get a $500 rebate on a Carbon Edition Mazda CX-30, or take advantage of 2.9% APR for 36 months or 4.9% for 60 months. This is Woodhouse Mazda. When financed with Mazda Financial, with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll